Unpacking the Toolbox is a production of Shondaland Audio in partnership with iHeartRadio.
It's the Scandal Rewatch Podcast Show with Guillermo Diaz and Katie Close.
G.
K.
G. The strike is over.
The strike is over and the deal has been ratified.
Yes.
We are free to go and be thespians again.
We
Thespians.
are available for employment. And we are available to talk about more scandal.
No, Back in the Toolbox is
back. But also, which we already know because we're on episode 3, but it can never be discussed enough because we're fucking stoked. Thank God we have Unpacking the Toolbox because now I don't see you on the strike lines.
I know.
And this is where I see your sexy face.
Yes. Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
what's up, baby? Second season of Unpacking the Toolbox, which, thank God. What are you wearing today, honey?
I'm wearing a t-shirt with an angry black cat. See him? He's cool, huh? I don't know what the words say.
Voting is
Rebellion. Oh, that's good.
cute.
Yeah.
The SAG actors did not rebel because we ratified the contract.
That's right.
Also, I'm still looking at your adorable face with the nose ring that you have, and I still really want to get it.
Oh, dude, let me know. I'll take you. Me and Katie live 8 minutes away from each other.
Truly.
And I found this amazing tattoo/piercing place. And he's like a master piercer. It didn't hurt at all. I'm the biggest chicken shit. I have a ton of tattoos and they've all hurt. But the septum piercing did not hurt at all. So if you're ever down to get it, and look, and then you can make it, if you get a job,
You
which
just tuck
hopefully
it up
we'll soon,
into
you
your
just tuck
booger
that
holes.
shit and it's gone. Your booger. You're stupid. Yeah, I can't do it right now, but yeah,
That's
you
so
tuck it and it
gross.
disappears.
I've never called it that in my life.
You're-
I've never called it that in my life. I'm disgusted with myself.
Look, and now it's gone. See, and you
And
could
does
do
that feel weird?
No, not at all. You don't even feel it.
What'd you eat today?
Today for breakfast, I had a cinnamon raisin bagel with cream cheese because my stomach has been a little bit upset these last few days. So I didn't want to do my normal celery and parsley and lime juice every morning.
Yeah, you just need to lay down a layer of carbs.
Yeah.
Well, for breakfast, I had just a power bar, which is pretty lame. I've been in a rush. Children, at the time of this recording, it's the holidays and everything is insane. But life stops for the guest that we have today.
Ugh. One of my favorites. One of my favorite guest stars.
Yeah.
In episode 303, she shines her light for us. And she's just amazing.
And she's just a tried and true journey woman of an actress. Like, she just has been on everything: comedies, dramas, film, TV shows, you name it. Maybe some horror movies. What?
You could say that
Guillermo.
again. Yep.
She's amazing, and she so lovingly has agreed to come on and be our guest today for episode 303. It is the one, it is the only, Cynthia Stevenson.
Yeah.
First of all, it's amazing to see you again. I am such a fan. Like, whoa.
I don't think either one of us worked with you actually in person in the episode, except for Kerry.
No.
Right?
Yeah. It's all.
It was so weird that I didn't get to connect with you guys because you two are the ones
Yeah.
that would have been like, "Hey guys,
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
You know when you're doing that part, like that emotional part, you can't be like, "Hey, what's going on? Blah, blah, blah." You
No,
No.
it's horrible. When you're like the guest star of the episode and the entire story revolves around you. A lot of times you have more heavy lifting than the lead actors do. Like, you're the entire episode. You work every day and have to go through all these emotional, huge swings.
totally. Oh my God, Katie. And also, you know, because we've done it. Like when it's your family, it's your show. You're like, oh, that.
Yeah.
You're like
Yes.
the weird aunt who had to be invited to the wedding.
You always feel like you have to prove something, right? As the guest star, you're like, I gotta be the best and be off book.
Yeah,
and
or like you're intruding. Somehow I'm such a
Yeah.
weirdo. Like I always feel like, oh, I'm talking too much, or oh, I'm talking too little.
Oh, me too. We all do that shit. But you, no pun intended, you killed it in this episode.
Killed it. The bomb strapped to you. I want to hear about, wait, was there an audition? We have so many questions, and like
Yes.
listeners, we've already jumped into this.
We
and
just
it's like
jumped
you're
in,
just,
yeah.
how is your Scandal pace. Do you remember having to talk really quick on this show?
It was terrifying. So in the last part of that episode, there was a little, not a monologue, but like some dialogue that they cut out because I think I wasn't doing the scandal face.
No. Oh my God, no. Who knew
that's
how
not
many
why.
monologues and pieces that we had that they cut out? It's mostly for timing or just didn't, work with the story. We had shit cut out all the time.
You don't even know how many times Tom Verica would come to work and say, just delivered the episode and it's 18 minutes over. Like, no joke.
Yes.
Because you guys could not have spoken any faster. Your whole rhythms. You must have been so exhausted at the end of this run because you're on a treadmill at highest speed all the time. And all the emotional journeys you guys took, none of them were casual. None of them were like, this episode, what you guys were going through.
You know what it was, Cynthia? The worst part after finishing with this series, when the series ended, is me and Katie spoke, at least I know because Katie's talked about it too. We just talked so fast at our next auditions and our next projects that the director would be like, you need to slow down. And we're like, what do you mean slow down? We have to slow down.
Yeah. I still have that problem.
I do too.
Isn't that funny? You got tightened up internally, like your nervous is no, I totally get it.
Yeah.
For all of you listeners, just to catch you up, obviously, it already feels like me, Cynthia, and G, our family.
We know each
for
other,
all of 3 minutes, and it feels like forever. In a good way. I hope that came out. It feels like a good way, not
absolutely.
a bad way.
No, of course.
But we are going to read real quick that we are talking about episode 303, which was entitled, wow. I think it's just
both
titled.
of it. It was entitled too. Shit. It was titled and entitled. Yes. Cynthia's character was definitely entitled.
Completely entitled.
Mrs. Smith Goes to Washington, which aired on October 17th in 2013. It was written by Maddie Byrne.
And directed by Jeannot Zwark, who is one of our directors who directed a bunch of episodes.
Yes, he directed a bunch of episodes, and he's directed a bunch of Grey's Anatomies too, and I believe Private Practice. He's a Shondaland all-star and a real character.
And he directed Jaws too, FYI.
Ooh, put that in your pipe and smoke it. The episode is guest starring the one and only Cynthia Stevenson as Mary Nesbitt, who we have today. It was also starring Mark Moses as Congressman Jim Struthers and Ernie Hudson, y'all.
Yes.
Wow. As FBI Commander Randolph Bowles. Cynthia, do you want to take do you have this synopsis up in front of you? If you don't, it's okay.
I don't. I wish you got it.
That's okay. Yeah.
I'm like your great grandmother with.
No, you're doing amazing. Most people have never done any of that before.
We've been doing this for so long, and I still will text Katie and be like, Katie, can you send me that link? I don't know how to open it. I don't know what to do.
Also, we had Deborah Mooney on.
Who played Judge Verna Thornton on the show.
Yeah.
And her camera was just from her eyes and her forehead, and that was it. And
she was doing the episode
she was like
this.
But she was amazing.
Whatever.
She was great.
That's so funny. Oh my God.
All right, so should I give it should I start it off?
Yeah, rock it out. Be a little dirty, but not too dirty.
Oh my God.
You're welcome, Hulu.
As most of the OPA team takes on a new client, a mother seeking justice for her murdered son, Huck, has a... See? I already screwed it up. Take two.
Oh my God.
As most of the OPA team takes on a new client, a mother seeking justice for her murdered son, Huck has a mission of his own, track down and kill Papa Pope, but two twists interrupt everyone's plans.
The grieving mother plans to blow up part of the White House, and Eli Pope knew Huck was coming. Oh, shit. Oh, my God.
Yeah, we did. Take two.
We are not getting hired.
Take two.
We're not getting hired. The grieving mother plans to blow up part of the White House, and Eli Pope knew Huck was following him. Olivia gets herself in the middle of a hostage negotiation over an ultra-high security document that leads to a tragic ending.
Come on, that was amazing.
Oh, you know what? We wouldn't have booked the job.
But give us a couple of minutes reading that over, and we would have had it down. We would have had it down.
So, Cynthia, can you take us into, had you seen Scandal before? Did you audition for the part? Were you offered the part because you fancy? Tell us how you got here.
So this was so funny to me. Every summer, we go to this cabin way up in Northern California in the woods. My grandparents built it in the 50s. It's a little red cabin with yellow shutters. It's like walking into a storybook. It's so great.
Wow.
On the river, and there's no internet there. So whenever we go, you're just fully unplugged, right? So it does have a landline. So
Jealous.
I know, it's so heaven. So we're there, we're at the river, and we do have a landline. And the phone, and whenever the phone rings, I'm like, oh, what is that?
What is that
You're
thing?
so awake.
How dare you?
Right? How dare you ring? So I answer it, and it's my manager. God love him, sweetest man on earth, Kelly Garner, the greatest guy. And he goes, Cynthia, I'm sending you something. And I said, I'm at the river. He goes, I'm sending you something, and you have to get in your car, and I have to drive 4 miles to get internet, right? So he goes, get in your car and drive to it's called the dry yards. Get to the dry yards and read this thing that I sent you. And I go, what is it? He goes, I'm not telling you. I want you to just open it and read it. So I go, but I'm at the river. He goes, just get in the car. So I get my car and I drive the 4 miles to the dry yards. I open up the link, and I swear, I have watched the show. I was a huge fan of this.
Oh, you had?
That's why he didn't tell me.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's
my God.
so great.
I have goosebumps while I'm telling you this. So I start reading it, and you know how it is. I'm reading it. I'm like, oh my God, this is a huge problem. Oh my God. And I get to the end, and I burst out crying. I start just crying so hard. I was like, what? And so then I'm alone in my car, and I go, I don't think I can do that part. They've made a mistake. There was an offer. And I'm like,
oh my God.
No, at the time, this is your magical realm of Shondaland had already been a guest on her show Off the Map. Remember, so I'd done
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
and an episode of Grey's and a private practice, then Scandal. And then after Scandal, I went to do How to Get Away with Murder, a little arc on that. So
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Cynthia, you are, yes, you are a beloved, you are part of the Shondaland
yeah.
ensemble.
and
Yeah.
all of the team, right? Like they're just so wonderful.
Yeah.
I call him from my cell phone, and I go, and I said, Kelly, I don't know. And he goes, shut your mouth. And if you don't get your ass back down to town, I'm going to drive up there and I'm going to get you.
I love your manager.
Oh, he's so great.
Did you have to cancel your trip?
I think we cut it short a little bit. And that's why he was like, oh, wah, you have to leave the river. Get down here.
Isn't that doesn't that always happen? I remember being in Hawaii for one of my best friend's weddings, and I had to leave early because I booked like a Law and Order episode. That's been like our lives for
Right?
so
Yeah.
long, right? You just are like, okay,
Yeah. You're like,
For
yeah,
all the actors listening, it's like book a trip, book a job. Like
Yes.
no
Yes.
one will want you. The minute you actually spend money to leave town
exactly.
Yeah.
and do something else is when Hollywood will not.
It's because I need a job.
yes, our desperation is
Exactly. And the
Mhm.
universe is like, hey, cool guy. Hey, cool girl. Here's your job.
Yes.
So do you remember like your fitting with Lynn Paolo or like first coming on to set or how you
Totally.
prepared for the role? Were you nervous to work with Kerry? Like tell us.
All of that. I literally am the most, if you know what HSPs are, a highly sensitive person. I'm like,
Oh,
like
my son is that.
tweaked up to the max. So I'm always like, oh my God, what's happening? It's just so much craziness. So the wardrobe fitting, and everybody's so lovely. And the other thing about your show is that season 3, right? So everyone's comfortable.
Yeah.
You guys were all the cool people at the reunion.
Right,
they're just
right.
in it.
Yeah.
I love it. It's so the wardrobe fitting, super casual. And then the prop guy came in to the wardrobe fitting, and here prop man was so sweet, and he was so excited about that vest, right? Like,
Oh, it was probably George. George
It
props,
had to be
right?
George. It had to
Yes.
be George props. He's the best.
he had taken so much pride in it, and it was incredible. So he came into the wardrobe fitting to see how it fit over the blouse, and so
Yeah.
like we're all excited about it and stuff like that. Was super cool. And then I remember in the makeup, in the hair and makeup, I think Kerry wasn't there yet, but Bellamy, who I'd never met before. So here comes this amazing angel person, and she's like,
Just a ball of sugar, yeah.
the house, and I was like,
Yeah.
and all my nervous craziness just disappeared in an instant. She was like, you're gonna kill it, you crazy weirdo, you're gonna be amazing, I was like, oh my God.
Yes.
Like with that ball of just kindness and amazing, like you can't be nervous anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't think I'd met Kerry. I don't think I'd met her until, I guess it was our little thing in your office, the scene in the office. And that was super quick. And just
Yeah.
so much to do. And I remember she kept carrying around her huge binder.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my
She
God. We
was-
haven't talked
yeah.
about that yet on
Oh,
this podcast.
Yeah.
Kerry Washington's nerd ass binder.
Yeah.
I looked at her binder and I actually got a stomach ache. I was like, oh God, I remember what that. Oh, God.
She would be memorizing lines for like the next episode while she was while she was doing the scenes for the episode we were shooting.
Totally.
She would take down an entire tree of Post-it notes through the binder, color-coded what was shooting, what she had memorized, what she hadn't learned yet, what the how things connected to each other.
Crazy.
Oh my
We'll be right back, guys.
Now, you've been a lead of so many shows. What's so amazing about you is like you are so versatile in,
Aw.
I mean, you carry sitcoms.
Really quickly, too, I love horror movies. And I had never
Oh.
seen a horror movie that Cynthia had been in called Jennifer's Body. And I just watched it like last night.
This is Guillermo Diaz's 6
Yeah.
Degrees of Horror. Every episode, we relate some shit to horror. We got to.
Cynthia Stevenson was in one of the best freaking horror movies written by Diablo Cody, who was an amazing writer. That writer was in the midst of writing Madonna's script about her life that Madonna's going to direct, and then something happened and she has a different writer now.
Guillermo's life has 2 lanes, horror,
Yeah.
Madonna.
Yes.
And so Diablo Cody and Cynthia Stevenson are meeting at the crux of horror and Madonna.
Yes,
So
yes.
this is big for Guillermo.
And Cynthia plays Chip's mom, who provides him with a spray that says something pink on it, which he uses, or the other character uses, to spray like the woman that's possessed by all this devil stuff. Anyway, you were so funny, so lovely in that movie, and the movie was so good. But then this morning, I watched Case 39.
Oh my God.
Which is another horror movie that Cynthia's in with Renee Zellweger and Bradley Cooper.
What?
Oh.
Cynthia. Oh, see,
Yeah.
I have a hard, fast rule. I do not watch horror. I do not like it. I only hear about it
Yeah.
on this show.
Can't either. And thank goodness, like in all of those things that you're referencing, I didn't have to do the horror-y part of it.
You didn't, yes.
For those of you listening and that don't have a computer in front of you to know every single thing that Cynthia has been in, which is insane, and of course, why you would get a straight offer on Scandal and be on every single Shondaland show. But it's like, it's unbelievable. It's like My Talk Show, Bob, Hope and Gloria, Oh Baby, Robert Altman's film The Player, Forget Paris, Home for the Holidays, Air Bud, Golden Receiver. I mean, come on. Agent Cody Banks, Dead Like Me, Men in Trees. I mean, your career is ridiculous, and you're so versatile between comedy, drama. Like, there's really movies, film, like TV. There's nothing you can't do.
And hey, what about IMDb, you guys? I gotta say, I go on IMDb for a million years now, and it says My Talk Show, various episodes. I'm like,
Are you kidding?
various episodes. I did 26 episodes. It won't change it. And it says I'm 6 feet
It says you're 6 feet tall.
What?
Fucking 42. I'm 41.
tall.
It actually says I'm younger, so I'm not mad at IMDb, but I'm mad that it says that I was born and raised in New Jersey. Now that's worse than being 6 feet tall and being 42. It says I'm from fucking Jersey. No offense to people from Jersey.
No
I do love
offense to
Jersey.
But when you're from fucking Washington
Washington Heights
New
in
York,
Manhattan, yeah, I was like, what?
And it's culturally such a huge part of who you
Yes,
are.
yes.
That's so fucked up.
But you're right, Cynthia. It's so hard to get things changed on there.
Oh, no, it's impossible.
ridiculous.
But
You
by the way,
can't.
you guys, I just have to say this. Look what your show gave you. Best friend, right?
Yes,
It gave you
yes.
so much.
That's so
You're
true.
on one of the greatest shows of all time. And I will say this, that so many people could not have done, never could they have done your roles. Going back to you saying, oh, Cynthia, you're so versatile.
Oh.
You two, come on. Your storylines were insane, and you were so
They
rich
were insane.
and amazing.
We
And
were
you just
so
went there,
lucky.
and not
We were
one
so
second did I
lucky.
feel like you were outside of it. You can't.
Oh.
You can't
That's
be
so
outside of it,
nice.
or you can't do it.
Yeah, but that's the way I felt watching this episode with you. I was like, I could not imagine anyone else doing that part. You
Truly.
were so emotionally available. And you talked a little bit about being that person that sort of feels everything. And so I'm sure that helped playing this character.
really
But you were
did.
just so
It
there,
was
man.
so
You were
hard. In real life, I have one son, so of course I was using.
Oh my God.
I was going to ask,
Yes.
how did you prepare? Like, what do you do for that stuff?
Do you guys do this? So when I was reading it in the dry yards way back, and like I'm at the river, I was reading it, and I knew immediately she's a single mother. The husband had left many years before. She raised her son alone, and I don't know why this all came to me in a giant flood. And she's a home ec teacher. She taught home ec. She was just a teacher. She's just a
Oh my
grounded,
God. I
really
have chills.
sweet
Like,
Midwest woman, and her whole life was her son. That's all she had, and that was enough. And so when that happened, I remember saying, as that character, I can't live with it. I can't. So I didn't know as the character I was going to do what I did at the end of the episode until I get the news from Kerry. But it's like my whole world
Ugh.
was done. Yeah, it was heartbreaking. So that was
Right.
a good place to go all during the episode when you have to stay in that place, right? And it had made me go insane. Remember when she says, like, he's just been laying in the morgue and not.
oh, yes.
That
God.
killed me.
Unclaimed.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I felt like she'd
God.
just begun unraveling.
Can I ask you something selfishly? And then we'll talk a little bit more about the episode. But because we didn't get to be with you, do you like not socialize? Do you like listen to music
Yeah.
and like an iPod? Do you like, I mean, I'm guilty. I have tried so many different things when shit's not there. And I'm like, okay, let's just think about if something really fucking bad happened to my mom or like whatever.
Or
like
bring the tear stick. Bring the tear stick.
and then tear stick, please. I'm
I
like
know.
the biggest person for that.
Yeah.
What were your tips and tricks for this episode or for all the other stuff you've done?
I do the same thing for all the time. And I had this wonderful teacher who actually is still teaching in LA, Ian Tucker. He's amazing. And he always says, always keep your character here. Then when you're rolling, it comes here. Put it right here.
Oh,
And then you can
wow.
have a
That's such a
chat
great
with-
visual.
For those of you guys listening, she's putting like her character sits on her shoulder. Sits on your shoulder, and then when they call action, they move from your shoulder into you.
Well,
Is that what you're kind of meaning?
Because think of us walking into an audition room, which now with Zoom, we don't really have to do it anymore. But you walk in, you're, hey, blah, da, 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 da. And sometimes your character is so far away that when it becomes time to like, here's my line, you start reading, you're like, oh, picture
Yeah.
our character is riding in with us. We're chatting, we're us, we're not so
Oh,
crazy.
I
methods,
love that.
right? And then it's just only got this distance to travel, and then you're right there. So that's what I
Wow.
do. It gets harder when there's something really emotional, right? It's so much easier on a sitcom because you're like, it's all just light. fun.
Yeah.
But to keep that character close, I also don't ever want to do a job where, please don't talk to me. Please call me by my character name, blah, blah, blah. Oh, God. Please. Like, no.
Right.
But you're just, you keep that kind of energetically really close to your heart and don't get so far away. I actually think I remember a couple times saying to Mark, who I was just pouring all that venom to, I said, I'm so sorry. I'm really hateful to you. I just hate you. My character hates you so much. And he goes, oh, it's okay. It's okay.
Oh,
Mark Moses, right? The
Mark-
gentleman that plays the congressman
Mark
that's
Moses, who's
stuck in the
Jim
room. Yeah.
Struthers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
You know, just
Oh, my
pouring the hate on
God.
that guy. Yeah.
I feel like Katie is the complete opposite. Katie, we've talked about this before, will be cracking up, talking a mile a minute, telling a story about what happened the night before. And as they're saying rolling, she's still talking. And the directors already knew on Scandal. They were like, just keep calling rolling, Slate rolling. And when she hears action, she snaps right into
I
it.
can totally see you doing that. I love that. I love that.
Yeah. She can do that. And then she still does a kick-ass job.
I mean, I'd probably do better if I like took my shit more seriously. I just love everybody so much. Being on set is so fun with being all the people.
But see, Katie, that's your magic.
And I want to eat my snacks. And I want to, you know,
And you want
like,
to talk about your
but
snacks, and then you want to get into the scene. No.
yeah.
But see, that's
Yes.
a huge skill. So don't ever say, "Oh,
She
you're doing it.
delivers.
You're in it."
We will be back with more after the break.
This episode, we always have like some Kerry Washington School of Acting moments or word for words, like monologues that knocked your socks off or made us go, holy shit, Shonda Rhimes and these writers are unfucking believable. And this episode, that Melly speech at the end with the accent, I mean, I cannot. Also, I think this is the second or third time she's called Olivia Pope a whore, but I never am bored of it.
I love her hooch. Is her hooch not so?
Yes, the
Oh my
hooch.
God, it's hilarious.
It's
Like,
hilarious.
oh my God, Matt Byrne wrote this episode, but I just can't, like, we'd never heard, I think, you know, if Olivia Pope died, it would be so bad because it would be, she says,
You'd nail her up on the cross.
I'm
and-
spectacular,
yeah.
but you can't compete with religious fervor. So no, I'm not hoping
Yeah.
that she would be blown up today. Tell us your other acting favorite moments of the ep.
For me, I think it was when Melly looked right at him and said, "You shut up." It was so great.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
You shut up. Oh my God, that was so good.
Melly might be the winner of this ep. It's a tie for me between Melly and between Mary Nesbitt.
Well, no, but Huck, Huck had some
Oh, yeah,
gorgeous
Huck has
things in there,
amazing
too. When
stuff,
she
too.
walks into the office and you're just sitting there. You were so scary in that episode.
You guys, this was around the time. Do you guys remember the Grumpy Cat meme that was going around?
Oh, yeah.
This is the episode that people started posting that meme with my face in this scene, in that scene
I am dead.
with Grumpy
Oh my
Cat.
God. But your whole journey in that episode is so heartbreaking. When he walks out of the trailer and you just have the gun right in his head. Oh my God.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, there's
Oh.
so much.
This is also the episode where Janose Wark, our director, first came up to me after we did the first take of that scene where Kerry walks into the office, and he came up to me and he said, You're too maniacal. You're too maniacal. It's too much. And I was like,
Oh my God.
okay, why? Okay.
Don't put
And I
that
was
in
like,
your head because we have to
right.
keep going. So
And then when she cradles you and you're crying at the
Yeah,
end and you say, like, he
oh,
owns me.
yes.
Oh,
Oh.
God. And then I just had a
Ugh.
flashback to all the time you were in the box.
Huck
Like,
was such a
Oh,
wounded.
I loved doing this episode. For me, the king of this episode, of course, Cynthia, I mean, with her performance.
Yes, bow
But
down.
secondly is freaking baby Teddy in that opening scene where I have never seen a baby on screen give
Baby
less than any
food.
fucks before in my life.
my
He
God.
was he was leaning on one hand with a look like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. He looked like he was 65 years old.
I don't give a fuck.
And they
I'm a
kept putting
baby.
like food on his face. You could tell because in different takes there'd be more food or less food. And he just had this look like, get me the fuck
Yeah,
out of here.
continuity must have had a real heyday.
He wasn't like
not good.
guying and like, oh, he was just like
he was like
staring.
you two are a couple of jerks. He totally was. He was kind of looking with disdain at both of them, like, really? This is like, these are my parents?
I felt bad for baby Teddy because baby Teddy was a set of twin girls, I'm pretty sure. And they
What?
just kept having
Yeah.
baby Teddy girls in and cutting her hair short like a boy.
God.
Yeah, when he was really young, it was twin girls, and then when he was older, I think it was two
they
boys
changed
when
it
he
at
was
some
older.
point. But
Yeah.
you know, G and I love food, and our favorite acting on camera is when anyone eats. And so, of course, maybe baby Teddy is the winner since he is crushing baby food
nah,
and they're
but-
the best acting.
He was amazing at the acting, but he was terrible at the eating because he
Yeah,
wasn't.
not
His
good at the
mouth
eating.
was shut closed.
Oh
he just
my
had
God.
food smeared on him. Like, get me
Well,
out
he
of
must
here.
have eaten in like other takes. Like he
yeah,
must have
maybe.
like, you know what I mean? Like he
Yeah.
must have like, I don't know what went down, but it didn't really work. And I thought it was very distracting. But I do think that he might be king and winner.
I think
of
he's
the best
king actor of this
acting moments of the
episode
I think you're right.
for sure, and Cynthia's the queen for
Yes,
sure.
that works.
Right.
That
Yes,
works.
that tracks. Another moment is when Kerry is on the phone at the end of the episode when you still have the bomb and she's talking to Fitz and she turns away from you, Cynthia, and you could see it all on her face and she says, "Don't make me do this." And then she turns back to you and just, oh my God, it was just so full of emotion and
what's
so
funny, Carol?
heartbreaking.
I decided that she was a princess. In my crazed, I was like, she's like a princess. She's like a fairy princess, and she's going to save me.
Yeah.
My character fell in love with her, and she was my savior.
Oh,
That's how.
Oh,
You
I
could feel that.
well, yeah, I could
you
feel
could
that
feel that
too.
watching it. Yeah. Oh my God.
We also have to add to the we have body count to add in this episode.
Shit.
We have some deaths to add to the ever loving scandal body count, which is sadly Mary
I
Nesbitt,
know.
Mary Nesbitt, yes.
Congressman Jim Struthers,
And then
Pete
Peter
Foster,
Foster.
the White House intruder,
Right.
Yes.
and then yeah,
Hey, episode 3, 3 deaths. There's some good synchronicity.
Oh, wow.
There you go.
Yeah, the Trinity.
We have to tell this story too. Remember, so at the end, what you just referenced, Guillermo, where Tony Goldwyn has that giant 2-page monologue talking to Carrie
Yes.
on her phone. And I remember saying, how are they going to do that? Did they record it, or is it, God forbid, the script supervisor going blah, 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 which thank God they didn't do. So I remember on the night, because it was really late when we shot that, I look over and I go, what? Because he wasn't on the call sheet. Tony wasn't on the call sheet. And there he is sitting on the floor. And he came
Yeah.
in. He said, oh, yeah, I was having dinner with my wife, but I wanted to come in for Carrie. And that's when I said, okay, this show is
Yes.
forever.
Yeah.
he shot that scene at 1:00 in the morning.
Yep.
So line huge monologue into a phone call scene, which is how you know they took those phone calls very seriously.
We would do that all the time, Katie, right?
Yeah,
They
we
would give us a heads up and be like, hey, you have a phone call with Carrie or with
Yeah.
Katie or whoever. And we would make ourselves available to actually get on the phone while they were shooting the scene and do the scene with them. Or we would come to set. There were a couple of times I came to set. Or if we were already on set, of course, we would do it.
And just for all the
But, yeah.
non-actors listening, that's really unusual a lot of the time. That's when there's just true
Oh,
love
yeah.
and support, and that's the way it should be, right? But it isn't a lot of the time, and sometimes it is just the script supervisor.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's definitely how you do your best acting. That's a really good point to bring up. And
I love that. I
They,
loved it.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
really, really nice.
I did a big movie once, and I did most of my scenes with the actor's stand-in.
Oh,
We would do all his stuff, and then not the whole movie, but like I remember like 2 or 3 like big scenes, and I ended up with doing all my coverage with his stand-in.
what?
And I was like, this is so weird. This is so shitty. But
That's
yeah, it's not the norm to be there for your actor when you're not in the actual scene and you're just on the
Not.
phone or whatever.
But good
But
news
yeah.
to you for doing that because it's really hard. It's really hard. It's hard
Yeah.
enough. There's giant cameras in your face. You're
Yes.
here I am. Like,
Yeah.
so even if your partner's there for you, which in
Yeah.
a perfect world they are, but when they're not, that's really tough. Bad on them and great on you that you could do it.
Yeah.
For real.
Although I feel like I've had some of my best acting moments acting with like a tennis ball. There were times where I had to act with just the actor couldn't physically be there or they were like off to the side. And I was like, this is the best work. This tennis ball.
I know what you mean. Because you have to pull out even more.
Guillermo,
Yeah, because sometimes you could look in the eyes of the other actor and you could see them being like, oh God, what am I going to have for lunch?
totally.
Or-
God, one of the biggest, hardest monologues I ever had with an actress who will remain unnamed, and she may or may not be part of Shondaland, but we're going to leave it at
Oh my
that.
God, you have to tell me after you tell me who it is.
And so all you listeners can guess, but I'm not going to say who it is. I just do this like massive monologue, and like there wasn't nobody home. Like nobody was listening.
Nothing behind the eyes.
Nothing behind the eyes. And I was like, this person is so bored and I am sobbing. I am having to go there. And she does
That's
not
worse. That's even
give
worse.
a
Ugh.
fuck.
That's
I'll never forget it. Like, I'll never forget it. I'm like, oh my God, this person, like, I'm either terrible or like they don't care or I mean, they're sick.
Oh
I don't know.
my
But it was, I've
God, that's
never had that
awful.
before and
That
I
is
can't remember.
brutal. And
Cynthia, do you have any like horror stories in your long career?
I
Like,
do, and again, I won't name them. I was doing a guest part that I was like, okay, I wasn't super excited about the role anyway, but
Yeah,
do it.
yeah.
And literally, like a cartoon, her off camera for me was this. A
No.
nail file.
filing her
Part of
nails.
my
Filing her
and then
freaking
she
nails.
put the nail file in her pocket and then pulled her phone out. And was
No.
she was young. She's like,
That person
Same
should be
dialogue.
fired.
My
But here's
God.
my thing about it's not our job as the guest. It certainly isn't. I don't want to stand there and make a big scene on someone else's show, but the producer needs to step in to the
Yeah.
director and say, hey, here's what
Yes.
needs to happen. Because young people just sometimes don't know. You think, where were you?
Cynthia, was it a show where it was an established show? Was it like
Yeah.
successful and she was like the lead?
And I'll say this,
Oh,
she's a really good actress. She was really good.
really?
When it turned around on her, she was amazing. Yeah.
What?
Wow.
That's
See, here
some
I am wasting
bullshit.
all my energy off camera, really holding up. I should just be filing my fucking nails and checking my phone so that when it turns to me, I'm full of energy and raring to go because I've given them nothing.
Yeah.
No, you're doing it because it's a gift. It's the gift that you want to give, and you want to give it.
Yeah.
That's our job. Like that's the job.
Yeah.
But then they're
course.
missing a huge piece. The
Yeah.
joy of creating this family and creating this alter world, which is so magical. Our job is
Yeah.
amazing.
I am intrigued to know who this person is, Cynthia, when we finish recording.
Intrigued.
We will all name
Call
names.
me after. We'll do it.
Oh my God. We have also, were you on Twitter at this time or
Oh, God.
are you
I
on
swear
Twitter?
to God, I'm like the character in Downton Abbey. Was it Maggie Smith who comes and goes, "Oh, these lights, this is never going to last. The vapors."
Good for you.
I'm the most untechnological person on earth, and the thought of live tweeting, I never. Because talk about my characters here. Mary Nesbitt
Yes.
didn't tweet. I can't. It's too far for me to go. I can't go out that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
We read some scandal tweets of the time.
Pew, 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 pew.
And they're kind of like a real nice time capsule for us to see what people thought of the episode. There's some, wow. Oh, I forgot about this line. Kevin Costly, who, oh my gosh, worked on Scandal and Publicity at Kevin Costly on October 18th, tweeted, "Now we've got a bimbo on the loose. Happy graduation. Hashtag Melly Grant greeting cards. Hashtag Scandal at Bellamy Young." So people were making all of these like greeting cards that had Melly's official photo on it. So it was a happy graduation photo, but it said, "Now we've got a bimbo on the
Oh my
loose." I'm dead.
God.
I love
Okay,
it.
at Scandal Feelings tweeted, "I think we'll need further inspection to tell how presidential his balls are." Hashtag oops, hashtag that slip, hashtag Scandal.
Wow. So Women love that Tony Goldwyn, man. That's how women
Charming.
behave like
Yes.
absolute imbeciles
He is so charming.
Yes.
around him.
He's Mr. Charm.
Yes. At Joe Morton tweeted, work unfortunately or fortunately. Oh, happy birthday, Big Daddy Rowan. What does a head honcho do for his birthday? I guess maybe it was Joe. Was it Joe's birthday?
Joe Morton's, maybe? I don't know.
I don't
You
know.
tried to kill
But
him.
old-
You tried to kill him on his birthday.
Oh,
I
yeah,
tried to
guess
kill him.
it
That's
was
right.
that.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is at Brown Eyed Girl 23 tweeted, the Disney Studio lot is again showing some love to at Scandal and at Once Upon a Time. So this was at the time, and there's a picture of up on the ABC lot of the poster of Lana Parrilla, who's me and Guillermo's friend,
Nice.
who played the Wicked Witch. It's her face behind an apple on the Once Upon a Time poster,
Oh,
and then
that's a
Kerry's,
great poster.
gorgeous face.
Yeah.
I mean, her face on those posters. Are you joking?
Ah.
It'd be like her lips, her eyeball, her nose,
I know.
her profile, her dead on center, and all of it was perfection, and you could never get it wrong.
Yeah. Oh, damn, Trish tweeted, I'm scared of Hawk. Hashtag Scandal.
Awesome.
Anybody calls me Hawk, that's a fan of Scandal.
Wait, what does it? Hawk, by the way, is a
Hawk.
very cool name. It's a very cool name.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
someone tweeted at Anna Labor87 tweeted, watching hashtag Scandal again, OMG Melly, and then quotations, you shut up. So that moment that you all have
Yes.
talked about really affected the people even of the time.
Wait, I forgot to tell you guys this. So this is another so
What?
crazy thing.
Yeah.
So in the room where when I'm holding them hostage and they're saying, what do we do? Blah, blah, blah. Tony Goldwyn's characters and they're the president's having his briefing with like, how are we going to get this crazy woman out of there? My oldest friend, Cheryl Brickert, who I met when I first moved to LA in 1980, whatever, she plays one of the people and one of her lines is,
oh, no
"We're
way.
pumping some gas." So we watched the episode together and we were laughing. I was like, you were trying to kill me. All I was trying to do
Oh, my God.
Wait, are you guys good friends now, or you had run into, or you were?
I don't get to see her as often because I don't live in LA anymore, but she's one of my oldest friends. She's amazing. She's a wonderful actress. And she had more dialogue in there, of
Wow.
course, you know.
But
it's like,
did you know that she had booked the job, or into
Yeah.
her on set? How did that happen?
yeah, we were just talking and I said, oh gosh, you know, I just got this offer on Scandal and I'm so excited. And she was like, what? Really?
I'm going to be on
It was
that.
like that. We're like, oh my God.
Where are you, Cynthia? Where do you
I'm in
live?
Tucson, Arizona.
Oh, wow.
Don't ask me why. Spirit just led us here for some crazy reason.
Oh, man. Do you ever watch Long Island Medium? A lot about Spirit. She always refers to
Yeah.
it as Spirit. And
I mean,
so
Yeah.
every time you say that, it reminds me of
We
her.
love the Long Island Medium, Teresa
Long Island
Caputo.
Medium.
she's-
We love it so much. Wait, Tucson, Arizona, do you love it?
we've been here almost 2 years. I like it. I'm not sure. The desert's intense. California, we're in a desert, but we don't feel that we're in the desert, right?
Right.
It's cool. It's actually really cool. There's a huge music scene here. Really interesting, quirky art, cool street fairs, and it's got a cool life to it. I'm still not grounded yet.
Adjusting,
Yeah,
figuring it out.
What do you do like for auditions? Of course, you do them remotely. You'll just
Yeah.
audition remotely. And then if you book something, you'll get to LA or to wherever it's shooting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has that been challenging at all? Or
I mean, my career is. I remember being in my 20s, you guys, and meeting much older women, and they'd say, "Joy volunteer because after 50, it's all over." And I remember hearing that probably 50 times. And I
God,
remember saying, "Hello, negative. What the heck? I'm a character,
right?
I'm a character person. I'm going to work forever." And I swear to God, I was like, "Did that thought virus infiltrate my subconscious mind and make this happen? What? Get out!" But after 50-ish, 55-ish. It definitely slows down. It definitely does. And I was never the dynamo. I'm going to get my own thing going. I'm always so distracted. I'm so ADD and I have a carousel going in my head. Very hard to pin me down. I'm always like, oh, no. Really, if you look back, I could have done it really differently and been much more aggressive. But I'm not like that.
And it sounds like you have a bunch of other stuff that you love doing and you're putting
Yeah.
time and energy into.
Yeah.
And,
And just going where you feel like, was like that started to naturally close down. I'm
Mhm.
open to that. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah.
You are an inspiration
Yeah.
and killed this episode. And you are so wonderful for taking the time out of your life and
Yes, we're
drinking out
so
of your
lucky
spider.
to
We
have
are
you.
so lucky.
I was super shocked and excited when they said you were going to be the guest because I was like, oh, we're not going to be able to get her.
Oh my
And then all of a sudden they were like, okay, this episode, Cynthia's going to be there. And I was like, what?
I was so happy.
We were so happy, so thrilled.
happy. You guys are so great on the show. And your love for each other just is so infectious, and it makes people want to come and listen and hang out with you.
Good.
You can't fake it.
Oh,
Thanks,
good. Yeah, you
Cynthia.
can't.
I love it. I always say I did this podcast because it would force Guillermo to hang out with me, like at least for however many episodes we have a season.
We
love it
He's
so
one of the
much.
loves of my
You
life.
two are mad.
Cynthia Stevenson, you are the greatest. Thank you for doing this. And
Thank you,
Gladiators,
Cynthia.
thanks for listening. Here we are at season 3 of Unpacking the Toolbox. And next up, we have
Yeah.
episode 304 titled Say Hello to My Little Friend. What is that a
Oh.
quote from?
That's from Scarface.
Oh, thank you, God.
But check it out. So this episode is called Mrs. Smith Goes to Washington, right?
Yeah.
There is a 1939 Jimmy Stewart movie called Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. So I wonder if they did a play on the idea of
Absolutely.
that movie.
I bet
And
they did. That's
right?
such a
I was
great
like, oh
movie.
my God.
gosh, I've never seen
Yeah.
it. It's so good.
is it really? I haven't seen it. No. I think Claude Rains is in it and
In a long
Jimmy
time.
Stewart, like I
He's
said.
amazing in it. Weirdly, here's a fun fact. My uncle met and worked with Jimmy Stewart for like a decade. He was a fundraiser for some, I think it was muscular dystrophy or something. And he said Jimmy Stewart was chose to be the face of that, the celebrity face. And then he got
Oh
to
my
fly
God.
places for him. So, and he said,
I'm the biggest Jimmy Stewart fan. I can't. I love him so much. I love him so much. I love him so much. I love him so much.
And he said he's kinder than we could ever imagine. Oh, great.
Really?
Ah.
Oh, I
love
love
hearing
that. I love that. I love that.
Cynthia Stevenson, we
All
love
right,
you.
Cynthia.
We
Thank you,
love
Cynthia.
R.I.P. to your amazing character. Ah.
Yes. Thank you guys for joining us on Unpacking the Toolbox. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe, share with your friends, rate, or leave us a review.
Scandal is executive produced by Sandy Bailey, Alex Alche, Lauren Homan, Tyler Klang, and Gabrielle Collins. Our producer and editor is Vince DeJohnny, with music by Chad Fisher.
Scandal is a production of ABC Signature, and you can follow along by rewatching Scandal on Hulu.
Unpacking the Toolbox is a production of Shondaland Audio in partnership with iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from Shondaland Audio, visit the iHeartRadio app or anywhere you subscribe to your favorite shows.